The previous video on scope discussed how variables can be local to a method or how you can have class level variables. You can also have scope within a block. So this video demonstrates that. I have a for loop. The variable counter is declared in the header. Why do I say that? Because the data type int is before that. If that data type int was not before that, I get an error in NetBeans that says it can't find counter. Well, it could find counter if I had declared it up here, but I haven't. So let's get back to, okay, so now I've got the variable declaration back in there, and I can execute this, and it does exactly what I told it to do, was to print from 1 to 5. Suppose now I also need to print counter after the loop is done. The loop is done executing where you see the closing brace. This is considered a block of code. The variable you declared here in the header of the for loop is valid inside the for block. Once that block is done, counter cannot be used here. We're out of the block. So the scope of any variable declared is inside the block where it is declared at. You can think of the block again as being the opening and closing braces makes a block. Whether that block is a for loop or whether that block is a method or even whether that block is an if statement, which we haven't gotten to yet. So how do you fix this? Take that int counter again to be declared here. Can't declare it a second time here. So take that int counter to be declared inside of main. See, now this is a valid anywhere inside the main block because it wasn't declared in the for block. And because this statement is in the main block, you can use it there. One other thing about class level variables, if you want a variable to be available to all the methods in your class, you're going to use static, then the data type, and then your variable name. What static does is it allows you to use the variable without having to create an instance of the object. If you recall from week 3, we talked about creating instances of the alien class, the good alien, the bad alien. Well, I don't want to create multiple instances of chapter 1 concepts. So by using the static, that's a class level variable. It's available throughout the class. It's not an instance variable, something we'll talk about a little bit later when we're talking about classes. So, main takeaway, how to create a class level variable. It's outside of any method. It's between your class declaration and any method declaration. And what is a block level variable and what is scope?